Crunch time, coming up big when it counts.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Crunch Time, where we come up big when it counts. I'm Dom with the gents, Saucy, Mast, and Anthony Collects. What's happening?
What's happening?
We're keen to go, Lukey. You can't wipe the smirk off your face. Look at
There he is.
What's that?
He's flashing the Chelsea badge to the camera. Fellas, how are we? Lukey,
Did
can't
they-
wipe the
did they
smile
do
off your
anything?
Face, I see.
They do something special or something?
Oh, yeah. Have
just
you been
a-
living under a rock, have you, mate? After your prediction of 3-0 up at Hobby Hangout stage, mate. 3-0 to
I've gone.
City,
I was
wasn't it?
gone to hiding since that day.
We're back, though. We're back, though. Now you can't hide. And we are going to start there, boys. Let's get into it, the Champions League. Let's talk about how it impacted the market, how Chelsea actually showed up and how they played, the mistakes that Guardiola made not playing a defensive midfielder, everything. Let's dissect it a bit. So which one of you two wants to start it?
We'll let Anth go first because we all know what I'm going to say.
No, give it to the current
All right,
champions.
all right.
No, you
Alright, fair
take it away,
Fair
Lukey.
enough.
Come on.
I'll take it. No, I just wanted Anth to speak for himself first, but it's all right.
He's got
Let's
nothing to
start.
say because he's
Look at
completely
him.
wrong.
He's going to mute himself. He's going to be like, nah.
So
But yeah, it was a good performance, I'll say. Very defensive at times. We sat a lot of players back. Of course, look, what are you going to do when you're 1-0 up against a team like City with all their firepower? I think it was Doma that said it on not Hobby Hang, Lockdown Lounge. Reece James had Raheem Sterling in his back pocket. Is that what you said, Doma?
yeah, he did.
Good performance by Reece James.
Played well. It was good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Reece James. I've been for a long time. I've said it a few times.
Fair to say, you reckon he's going to get the start ahead of Alexander Arnold in that?
Well, he's not 100%, is he?
They heard he's
Alexander
tired.
There you
Over
go.
Walker?
Maybe over Walker. You did call it. Maybe.
One-
Maybe it's
One
possible.
won the Champions League final, and the other one didn't. So
Oh,
you never, you never know.
Kyle
it was good
Walker's so much better than him.
Nah.
TAA. Just admit
Cole
this
Walker's
before we
washed
go
up.
any further. TAA if he's healthy, starts over both of them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Oof.
admit that. Yeah.
Oh,
Nah, I'm not going that far.
wow.
Come on, I'm biased.
Nah,
I'm not
it-
that biased. That's ridiculous.
I hope TAA is healthy, but if not, they've got so much depth in that spot. But continue with the
Yeah.
Chelsea.
It's good to see Havertz get on the score sheet. I think it was his first Champions League goal. Very important one too. And we saw what happened with the market at halftime when he did score. Started the frenzy started happening on eBay. Comps started coming in. If only it was Pulisic. Imagine that shot that just went wide from Pulisic. I think that would have been absolute.
The brace, if it went in.
It would have been absolute madness if that went in. Like we've been saying for a while. If Pulisic scores Champions League final, it's over for the soccer card market. But yeah, your take, boys.
And
What am I going to say? I mean, I was wrong every step of the way. But I mean, it takes,
Takes a man to
it takes a
stand
man
up.
to admit it.
You know
And
what I mean?
at the end of the day, above all, I'm very happy for Kante. Kante was the best player on that pitch. De Bruyne went down with that nasty that knock. Kante is by far the best player on that pitch and might be the best player in the EPL. Might be. Look, if he wins, and there's a lot of memes about it, but if he wins the Euros with France, and he has a performance like he had in the final, all the way through the Euro, he could win the Ballon d'Or, and there's no way that you can take that from him. Two biggest trophies of the calendar year. I'm happy for Kante. Kante
would you
is
say best defensive midfielder in the world at the moment?
yeah. Who else are you going to compare it? He might be the best midfielder. He might just
Potentially,
irrespective of the whole thing.
He just looked like he was unstoppable. No one could get
Yeah.
through him, and no one has been able to get through him. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like it was a one-off thing. So
Silly by Pep not playing a CDM. That's just he overthought the situation. I know Splash said that best. He overthought the situation, and it's just like had the right winning formula for 59 games, and you chose on the 60th and final game to switch it up. To me, it doesn't make sense. It shows that he had nerves going in, and I guess I don't want to even say the better team won. Like, okay, sure, on the day, yeah, better team won, but City, I still think, is the better side. I think 9 out of 10 times City beat them. This was just the one time Chelsea. Everything fell into the lap of Chelsea. And then I keep thinking back, like, imagine we had just beaten Real Madrid, like as a Liverpool fan. If we'd just gotten past Real Madrid, I think that would have been a different outcome. But that's in the hindsight, neither here nor there.
At the end of the day, it's a final. Anything can happen. That's what I was saying to someone when they were
2 in 10
That's
years.
right.
That's all I'm going to say. And we've spoken about this a little bit. So, it's congratulations.
It'll give confidence to the whole team, and that's a young team, and to win so young, that's big. They'll be good next year as well. There's a rumor that they're going to get Lukaku.
There is a rumor going around that it's going to happen.
I haven't heard that one actually. Shit.
If they manage to weasel their way out of that Werner deal, if they can somehow sell him off and or trade him off and get Lukaku, that's a menacing team with a proper striker.
There was someone else that got
Chelsea
mentioned
could
to be in the hunt to go to Chelsea as well. That was a very good
just
player.
remember Inter Milan obviously in financial issues, so they could look into sell off players. So maybe who knows?
I heard Martinez is going to go as well.
Martinez.
Yeah. What's the other guy's name? Inter. Martinez, isn't it?
Lautaro. Yeah. Lautaro Martinez.
I was going to say Martinez.
That's big. Yeah, no, it is. I
maybe
always
question myself. I was like, what?
He's a good player. I think Premier League is going to be amazing next year.
I think he'd fit at City. Very nicely. Which
I think we're going to see a fair few people come to the Premier League.
I think
great players.
It's now at that stage where the best coaches in the world are all in the Premier League, and the best players are going to play for the best coaches. That's just how it's always been. I'm excited for it. And the best part about, I think, the whole final was when Havertz did score and the prices did shoot up. It just shows that people are in the same buying thought process like Ultimate Team. Ultimate Team, whenever there's like a goal in the Premier League, Ultimate Team prices just shoot up. This is from my FIFA memory. And it was just funny, like seeing all those sales at halftime of Havertz. It's something that the NBA used to have, and now we're seeing it like NBA, like because there's so many games and so many, moments. It's tough to like just buy up every moment. But with soccer, if you score in the biggest final, it holds like a really high importance for that player, and so his price just shoots right up straight away.
So Havertz Donruss base PSA 10 in the last 2 weeks is up 69%, just under 70%, 69.5%.
Compare that to Trey, who in the last 2 weeks has looked unbelievable, but his cards haven't shot up anywhere near that. You know.
100%.
Do you think
it shows the game? It shows how big. And we've been saying this. All four of us have been saying soccer's. Don't sleep on soccer. I said this from the day I got into the hobby. Soccer's the real deal. And we haven't touched a Euro or a World Cup yet.
And we kept saying, what do we keep saying? Like the allocation in Europe was like limited before they expanded it. Now it's getting expanded, and it's expanding at the right time because everyone's into it now. The whole, like, not for anything, the American market's really into it now, like completely. Australia, it's always been big soccer here, so it's no different for us. So that's just the way we grew up.
America, I feel like they're getting into it. They're learning.
They are,
but they're at the surface level.
Yeah.
Once they start realizing who plays for who and how it works, it's like they're like toddlers, and they're getting into this like period where they're like learning all this like new language and new what things do and everything like that. Once they figure out like the best players come from outside the major leagues and then go into the major leagues, it's just going to keep going.
Two things that I took from the final as well, that it shows that people in America are watching. Because I remember last Champions League final, I can't remember who was talking about it. I was listening to it on a podcast. They were saying, I can't remember who it was now. It was a while ago because it was last final. They were saying, they got all excited to watch the final because they just bought an Mbappe Prism World Cup or whatever. And they were like, I went to the TV and I couldn't find it on TV. And so it shows that this year people are tuning in, people are watching with the way the market's reacting. And the second thing is...
Go.
Yeah, exactly. And the second thing as well is, what does winning a Champions League do to the cards of like Mount, Havertz? We won't say Werner, but Mount, Havertz and Pulisic, like winning a major trophy so young. I wonder what that'll sort of have for it longer term. Do you know what I mean? Or even longer term, just the cards in general.
The thing is, if they, it's all like performance based. So like if they turn around. And now the beautiful part is if Mount, Werner, or Havertz have a big Euro, then the momentum's going to start to kick in. Because this was ultimately a surprise.
Yeah.
Right? The prices weren't baked in just yet. But now there's like people buying with the expectation that the Euro is going to be another breakout moment.
But I don't even mean now.
If Havertz goes on to score, oh my goodness. In the Euro...
That's what I mean. Even longer. Like they've won something. They won such a major trophy early. Those young guys, Mount, Havertz, Werner, Pulisic. They've won something so early that I think it holds them in good stead going forward as well. Because this is a team that's still developing. It's still not 100%. We need a better defense. We need probably a better striker. That midfield's good. Aging though, Jorginho and Kante and stuff like that. I can see this team winning for a few years going forward. So I think it holds them in good stead right now, winning something so early as well. Like we talk about Mbappe winning the World Cup. I'll give that as an example, not maybe to that extent, but still a major trophy. I think it's the biggest club trophy you can win.
Absolutely.
100%. Completely agree. All right, boys, we'll move on. Great discussion. Well done again, Lukey, as a Chelsea supporter. Deserved in the end. So, boys, a bit of all right, Ant. Bit of news. Bit of news during the week, and probably doesn't have too much. Sauce and I gave our take on the double coverage pod, but BGS shut their doors a month before the National to catch up. If they haven't logged your cards in the system, they will be returning to you on your doorstep, ungraded. So all that time you spent waiting to potentially get your investment back in your hands and increase the value of the card is probably going to come back, and you're going to lose money because the raw value of the card has probably gone down in that time anyway. So your thoughts, boys? We'll start with Luke again, and then I think Anthony's got a big rant. I can see it. He's just
he's getting ready. He's going to sip your water, Anthony. Just get ready.
To explode.
What can I say? It's a bit late. Look at PSA. They shut down 3 months ago now. They're getting there in terms of being up to date. You'd be so disappointed having your cards. Imagine when that box gets to your doorstep. You open up your door and there's just all these ungraded cards. Fuck, I'd be absolutely shattered. And like you're saying, Doma, you've lost value not only in the raw cards, but you're not getting them back graded. So you've just wasted however long you've been waiting. 9 months minimum? It's shit. It's really shit from BGS, not going to lie. You've had plenty of time to fix up. Well, not fix up, but look what everyone else, your competitors are doing, and you're still not. Still didn't do anything, waited, and now I think it's too late for BGS. And go on.
Yeah, everyone's expecting like this big.
I reckon it's going to be just bang.
No, I'll give it straight to the point. I think that I don't know who's like CEO of BGS. Is it Dr. Becker? Is that like the
No, he's not involved with it anymore.
He's not involved. It's just they use his name now. So
my theory, but like my question
Kenneth
would be
Keller, I know it's
the
not.
people
Sorry,
that are
Ryan.
running it, like that team that's running BGS, they just seem so out of touch with like reality. It's almost like it's like they're stuck in the wrong month. Like they just came out of like February and they're like, hey guys, we're gonna close too. PSA just
No.
closed, didn't they? It's just they're so far behind the rest of the hobby, and the hobby's so fast moving. They just don't know how to like keep up. I'm not going to go all the way and say like it's like the worst thing they could have done, but it's very close to it. Sending cards back that they haven't had the time to log into the system is like just beyond me. Even PSA didn't do that. PSA, like whatever was in there was there, and that's it. Like you can't submit any more after a certain date. But sending cards back is just one of the worst things you can do.
So,
And
Jeremy Murray is the president, and Sandeep Dua is the CEO of Becca.
I guess the information doesn't do anything for me. But like, I would say to them, like, you're not really. Who am I going to say? Tell people how to run their company, but at the end of the day, they're the laughing stock of the entire hobby right now. It's we rag on about like HGA and even Revolution Grading and all these other new companies, but at the end of the day, as you boys have said, like their ability to stay in touch with what's happening in the hobby has been great. And for at one point they were 1A, 1B with PSA. Now they're D, but BGS have no idea what's going on. It's just beyond me. It's like almost running, any shop front, like a hairdressing salon. Like you're a barber and you forget your scissors one day. You're like, but yeah, isn't that what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to cut hair. Like, what are we doing? And the fact that they left it to the point where like they've got no idea of where the market is right now. Like PSA, they closed their doors when they would have received the most amount of money. When the most amount of submissions would have come into PSA was that Prism week. And they closed it the day before Prism release because they know that everyone's sending their base cards. And it was read between the lines, read the room. We're closing because we don't want you to submit every card. Let us figure this out. And at the time, everyone was so angry and whatever. But in hindsight, that was a brilliant decision because look how quick, they're working through all the cards and they're working through all the grading. BGS have waited until the worst possible time on a 6-month frame in terms of the market. They picked the worst time. They did it a month before the national, which I don't think they even know the national's happening. I guarantee both of those gentlemen don't know that the national's going on.
They're guaranteeing that they're going to be grading on the spot there, getting cards ready to grade, pre-grade, so they're going to send it to get graded post-show.
Yeah,
so
nice.
we're getting rid of the backlog in a month to add to it. What's happening?
Nice.
Like,
they're not doing that. I can guarantee
What's that going to cost as well?
There'll be technical difficulties on the day, and they'll be like, "Oh, we can't do it. There's a backlog," and they'll stop. They'll probably do the first. They'll do the first two, and then they'll cut after that. And at the end of the day, like I think we're at this point now where everyone thought that HGA was going to be the ones that overtook, not overtook PSA, but competed with PSA. But we didn't look the other way and thought HGA is actually going to be the one that takes out BGS for the number 2 spot. I truly believe that now. Like BGS haven't mentioned anything to do with AI grading. PSA made sure they made it a announcement, a hobby topic that they went and bought Genamint just so they can do AI grading.
Well, they said in their statement, and like, we've done all this stuff in the background. We didn't want to tell people, but you want to tell people, your consumers, so then you stay relevant in the hobby.
It's
like we want to be talking about, you're expanding, you put staff on. This is awesome, fantastic, well done, BGS. We want to hear this stuff, not, we didn't want to tell people we were doing this behind the scenes, as if to say we were bragging.
They remind me of like a year 10 like I don't even know how to explain. Like when you're a
Go on with
child,
the
you're like you're trying to keep secrets from everyone. Like, oh no, I don't want them to copy my homework just in case. Like it's the most childish way to run a
no
grading
one's
company.
BGS. No one's copying your systems. I can guarantee you that for a fact. Like, no one. RCG, CSG already had an establishment with.
They want to be PSA. They
CG.
don't. No one's
Yeah.
looking to BGS for the
Exactly
the best thing
right.
BGS
Well,
have is the name, which is now like being tarnished beyond repair. And the second thing is the fact they got a 9.5 scale type of thing. They're the only two things they got right, and that was from
Yeah.
what, the 80s, the 70s, whenever it was.
The other thing is, like,
You haven't done anything good for the last like 20 years. You're like Arsenal.
honestly, I reckon the one thing that the number one thing, like, is the fact of, and I'm just gonna be straight out and just say, BGS, you got to pull your head out of your ass right now. Yeah, like, the one thing that they're holding on to is the fact of, like, we are still top dog, and this is how we're getting seen. Like, you can go shake King Golden's hand, by all means, go shake his hand, because he's kind of kept you in some sort of relevance. But pull your head out of your ass. Yeah, all your cards that are selling for a mint on Golden Auction were graded by you in the early 2000s because you were the top dog then. If those cards were getting pack fresh pulled today, they will not be coming through your company. Wake up, mate. Like, the high end stuff for PSA is still open. If any person that pulled an RPA LeBron would be like, yeah, I'll gladly pay $2,000 to send it to PSA. They're not sending it to BGS. Even if BGS was the last grading company open on planet Earth at this point in time, they would not send it there.
So you get the LaMelo Ball 101 Prism. Where are you sending it?
PSA is getting all that stuff.
That would have been a much better
PSA,
story.
I like the fact that Nat Turner is so. He's not even that public about everything, but he's active. He's in the mix, as they say.
He says enough is the thing. Like, he says enough to people. Keeps the people happy.
He
But it also
posts his collection.
Keeps
He stays in the mix, and I at the end of the day, I've always looked at businesses, but beyond that, I looked at the people that are running the business. 100%. The fact that I can associate Nat Turner to PSA, I can associate Jeff Bezos with Amazon, like. Those things matter. Those names to faces to businesses matter. And at the end of the day, I don't know who's running BGS. They first of all, they need to hire a marketing team. That would be my here's my ways to get back into the hobby. Hire a marketing team. Put some money into, like, saying, okay, guys, we're sorry for the last 6 months. Let us, here's what we're doing. Here's our steps. Here's what we're doing. Really outline your plan for, like, the next 3 months. Tell us how you've improved in the last 3 months, and try your best to stay up to date with what's going on. Like, hop on Instagram once in every 2 days. Listen to doubled coverage. Like, do something. Just stay in the mix, man.
Mate, we've been trying to help BGS for a bloody year, almost a year. They haven't taken our advice, and look what's happened. They're a shit show. So I'm not saying.
How many hours can BGS take until they just get barred from everyone, and everyone's like, you know what, I'm not fucking sending anything to BGS anymore.
Well, it's the history, Luke. In the end of the day, they're still holding on to the fact that they think, like Anthony's saying, they think that they are there, and they're neck and neck with PSA. Like, you were so far off of it.
So far.
I love how I can say, I can talk all this. Like, at the end of the day, I'm talking shit right now, but at the end of the day, they've got not one bit of leverage. They don't have one of my cards. I've never submitted with them. They can't. I'm hesitant to talk shit about PSA because I know they could just search my name and just give me a PSA 9 for everything. But BGS, you got nothing. Like, I've never considered you as to sub any card to. I have one card of yours, and that's an expensive card, sure, but it's already been graded, a BGS 10. And even that, I'm considering, is it time to sell? Because is BGS digging themselves that big of a hole that even the existing cards are going to start to depreciate?
That was literally my next thought. I was thinking, if whatever BGS slabs I have now, I think I have maybe 5 or 6. Do I want to keep them in a BGS slab, like, do I want to crack them and maybe send them off to PSA or not SGC, maybe HGA if I can get in, like a source was saying today to me. If you can get in HGA or PSA when it comes back, do I want to keep those in a BGS slab right now, or do I want to sell them right now? Like, what do I want to do? Because I can't see BGS slabs going up anytime soon or getting anywhere near what a PSA slab's worth.
It's not irreversible. Don't get me wrong. It is not. You've dug yourself a hole, but
it's a pretty big hole, man.
You can fix it, but you've got to work hard. You've got to work very hard.
Yeah,
make sure,
very
like
hard.
you're saying, you're out there communicating with people in the hobby. Jump on podcast. I know whoever it is at the moment are doing
I don't
that.
think I even
do that
follow.
stuff. Do all that stuff.
Even jump on Instagram Live.
Just jump on
Answer
the
people's
live. Get people
questions,
exactly.
There's so many things you
We've
can
seen
do.
HGA do it. We've seen everyone else do it. Like
It's just
PSA haven't had to do it, but
yeah, I just don't see it happening. That's the thing. I don't see it happening.
Anyway, we'll move on, Source, unless you wanted to put something in there. But
I've said enough on this.
What's your honest opinion now? What do you think happens to BGS cards that are existing?
Source.
I think, look, we're seeing what's happening in the market, and my personal opinion is, this is great for you if you just truly love cards and you just want to collect that card. Because if you don't care about the value of the card and you just care about the actual card itself and the condition, because their grades are legit, they're better quality in my opinion than PSA. Great for you because you're going to get a hell of a bargain. If you've bought something as an investment to sell later on down the track and it's in a BGS slab, I'd be worried because they just don't seem to be understanding what is necessary to continually give people trust in the company. They really just lack transparency, and when you don't get that, like, people get frustrated. Like, people are sending you their cards, they're being backlogged for 12 months, right, before they're getting cards back. Like, people are going to get frustrated, and when you just don't communicate, like, your customers are just going to be like, well, stuff this, I'm not going to send any more cards to BGS, right? Because I don't like, first of all, their systems, the way they update and things, isn't good. They don't let people know what's going on behind the scenes, which you don't need to know much, but you need to know a little bit. Like, just as I said, have a look at PSA. HJ is by far the best company in terms of transparency and, telling people what's going on in the company. By far the best. And in my opinion, I think that's how they've been able to successfully grow and literally sell out 7.5K spots every week. I believe they're doing. So, what's a reasonable amount that gets to by the end of the year? If that's what 6 months from now, that's potentially they're moving into a new space. They're starting to open up to TCG, and they're doing
Marvel big
20K a week, and who knows?
Cage said yesterday that it's 8.5K a week now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Pushing.
I've got a question. I've got a question for you boys. We've done this before as well. We did this actually after SGC bottled it. See, SGC bottled it, like completely bottled it that day with the $75 thing. And they managed to fumble it back, and all right, we're kind of back in it. They made a mistake.
Seen a story of someone sending cards there and literally getting them back within the time limit, 14 days. Yeah. They had them back. They're running smooth now. So
it's all it takes. You know what they did? They went out. They started communicating. They made sure they got their message and their structure correct. They lowered the price back to something they can do, and they said, "Look, we kind of we stuffed up. Here's the new price. Here's the new time frame. We're communicating it." In line with that, where do you boys now rank the top four, the top four grading companies? Being, I'll give mine first. I think PSA is obviously clear number one. I think HGA is number two. I think SGC are number three. They have this very, very nice niche spot that I think that's going to do well for base cards. I really think that SGC and base cards are going to go hand in hand at one point. I think is it Art Revolution grading?
RCG, they're not full.
RC,
Don't say they're full.
RCG,
Surely not.
CGC, Anthony Collects grading, and then BGS. It goes
Jeez.
PSA, HGA, SGC, and BGS. That's my 4 right now. And that's a harsh on
Bloody hell.
BGS. I know that sounds ridiculous, but in terms of
Fair
where
enough.
I'm
Hey.
sending,
Yeah,
where
that's
am I
fair
sending
enough.
my cards today? Not what
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
buying. What am I
Yeah.
sending my cards?
Yeah.
What about you boys?
For me, I reckon like you said, PSA head and shoulders above everyone else. Then I'd go HGA second, like yours. But I'd put SGC and BGS still on the same. Like they've both bottled it. They've both taken L's, big L's. But
Fair.
I feel like they're on the same level. I don't know. That's just my top 3.
Yeah.
Nice and short.
I don't even know where to go from this point, and I don't really know where I'll be sending any cards. I'd like to send cards to HGA and give them a shot, but you know, good
Gotta
luck
get
getting through their
You can't.
queue. I might have to go through the sneaker spam route and make freaking 30 accounts and go a la Top Shot, and
bot
get
on it.
multiple lines in the queue. Set up some proxies, set up about 30 Chrome tab open. I wonder if anyone's tried to do that and just spam it with 30 accounts. I'm being serious there. I mean, at this point, it's people. It's tough luck. It's tough luck.
Imagine they all get in, all 30 accounts.
That'd be
It's also
amazing.
be laughing, bro. You'd be laughing.
It'll be the biggest HGA sub review ever. But yeah, look, number 1 for me is still PSA, and that's just because that's what the market says. And then number 2, I'm not yet ready to wipe BGS off. I'm still would buy a BGS card over a SGC card every day of the week. But then I'd put SGC a close second. And I'm seeing, prices of stuff. I seen an SGC rookie UD3 Hot Prospects gold label. So it's their pristine. Sell for more than the PSA 10 the other day. And it was a legitimate bids. It wasn't being shilled. So yeah, and it was just slightly more, but it just goes to show that people are willing to drop. It was probably I think $100 more than the PSA 10, but it's a 10. And people are willing to drop that money on the SGC slab. So it gives me a bit of confidence in SGC, weirdly enough, that they're doing a decent job. And my personal opinion, my personal experience grading with SGC, they grade your cards pretty fairly and pretty reasonably. And cards that I thought would do well when I subbed did well, and cards that I thought were a bit off, sort of one did okay. And I think a few slipped through every grading company, but it seems that they're pretty fair. And I'm all for I just bought a Kobe rookie today that in a PSA 10 slab's like an $800 card, but in a SGC 9.5, it's a $250 card. So I was like, well, I'm just buying it as a collector. I'll take the SGC slab every day of the week. So, I think that's where I'd have it. And then you've obviously got CSG, which is where I would be sending all my base cards because they have a pretty cheap service, a $20 service. That's, I think, 60-day turnaround, 61-day turnaround. That's working days, not just days, working days. And then there's also got a $12 bulk service where you're going to send a minimum of 50 cards, but it's 199 working days turnaround, essentially a year.
Not bad.
So that could be a play.
PSA, then it's Grand Canyon gap between PSA and number 2. But number 2, and as much as this might disappoint you, there it is, the eyebrow. He loves it at the moment. It is going to be BGS, but you know why it's going to be BGS? Because so many people are still... BGS is Michael Jordan, all right? That's how I'll sum it up for everyone.
That's
PSA
great,
is LeBron. PSA is LeBron, and BGS is Michael Jordan. Everyone's still holding on to the memories and the nostalgia of BGS from the early days that they think it's still going to live up to what they were in the early 2000s. Grow up.
That's a great point.
It's not going to happen. But they are number 2 for that reason. Not my number 2, but I have to say the number 2 because I'm going by what I think is going to happen. So it's going to be PSA BGS. And then I'm with Source and what you touched on as well, Ant. I think CSG and CGC, because it's the same company. So CGC, if you don't know out there, do the TCG side of things and comic books and Marvel cards and whatnot. And CSG does all the sporting cards. So I reckon CGC, CSG, SGC. Well, SGC is probably going to push a bit more towards BGS, and same with HGA. But I think CSG and SGC definitely have to focus a lot more on those base cards. That is a market, is a niche market. I think PSA will open up and will try and eradicate any submission for those shitty $5 cards that people are trying to grade to make them $100 cards. They're going to eradicate that crap. So it is literally a niche market now, an opportunistic moment for these companies to grab hold of it and run with it. I think HGA, out of all the other ones outside of BGS and PSA, are the ones that are going to push to contend with the top dogs. If we're going to say the holy trinity, the big 3 will be PSA, BGS, HGA. But HGA is going to push, as I said, by the end of this year to try and be number 2. That's how I see it. So, yeah. But anyway, get off of Michael Jordan. Get on LeBron.
What do you guys think of I was going to call it the mythical BGS 10 Black Label. What do you think? Because I'm just curious what you guys think. What do you think happens to it going forward? Do you think it still holds such a high premium within the market, or do you think we slowly see even that fall as BGS slabs have fallen, as other BGS like 9.5s and stuff like that have fallen? What do you guys reckon?
I reckon it holds its value.
Still holds?
Because it's
really got
a black label.
They're few and far between. Like,
yeah.
But Anthony, are you worried about your Mbappe BGS 10?
Not really. No, I think Mbappe is Mbappe, and I think
that's the funny thing. Like we shit on BGS.
To say, it's like it's Pop 7. It's like, you know, I would be very disappointed if it sold for the same as a PSA 10. I'll put it that way. I'll be very disappointed, and I don't think it will. I think that there's so few of them that it just, you know, it won't. I don't think it will. I think it will always sell above a PSA 10.
So
we can say some confidence. Still giving some confidence to Beckett.
Like we
Beckett's always going to have the backing.
We can shit on
confidence
that and stuff
in
like
Mbappe.
that, but then, the Black Label is such a special thing in the hobby that I don't know if we can discredit everything else they've done, but like, do we just keep the Black Label, like the Black Label or something?
It's the unicorn of the hobby, the Black Label. Literally,
I was going to call it mythical. I was like, no, I don't know.
It is mythical.
That's why I say like it's not too late to just spend a bit of money and just go out and get a marketing team. God damn, like go call up Gary V. Hey, buddy, we need help ASAP. Imagine Gary V was the head of BGS.
Vayner Media did all the marketing.
Are you out of your mind? Like you're talking about a way to leapfrog and compete with PSA. Yeah, go get Gary V as your you know,
and just put his head on everything as well.
Yeah, legit. All right, guys, let's move. Let's move on as well. BGS. We're talking too much about BGS. They're finished anyway. So, all right, let's get viral flame. Who wants to kick it off? Viral flame.
I'll kick it off. I've got a sneaky fire, which is the 1991 KO boxing sealed boxes. I mean, go buy. I'm looking at it listing here. Go buy yourself a sealed box listing right now. $40 USD. The guy's got 4 available, sealed box. And I mean, you know, people complain about not being, you know, ripped wax. Here's a box you can go buy. By the time you ship it here to Australia, probably like a $65 box. You ship my cards, you know, send it all home. If you're in America, there you go. It's $40 plus probably $5 to $10 shipping, $50. You rip that. You've got your Roy Jones Jr. Rookie card in there, and I believe there's another. There's also like a cool Muhammad Ali holo card, where he's like standing over the guy after he's knocked him down. And then I believe there's another main fighter in there that's got a rookie card, but I just the name's is escaping me right now. Oh, there's a George Foreman card in there that's also a rookie card. That's the one. So George Foreman, but obviously Sugar Ray Leonard rookie card is the main card in that you're going to get. And 90s Wax, there's a good chance that you definitely get that card. Also got some, there's other Mike Tyson in there and things like that. So fan of boxing or not, but just a fun rip, like in my opinion, and something where you can just still go pick this box up for cheap. Who knows? Maybe the card that you pull is decently centered and whatever. There's Sugar Ray Leonard's. I think PSA 10's going for 500. There were a lot more than that. They've come down a bit, 500 to 600. Could be wrong, but I'll double check that and quote back to it. Anyone else? Moving on.
Next one.
Interesting. Me?
Why don't you go first? I'm still working mine out.
All right. This is a play, and you're hearing this first and live on Crunch Time.
Bang.
But this right here, 1, 2, 3,
Did you get more cards up there, Aaron?
4.
Man, he's got it looks like he's bloody just shipped in a container full of them, mate.
There's one missing, but it will be filled by the end of the week. So I'm confident. I've already got these set up. But this is the 1992 Fanimations cards, and I'm gonna put up a post of this. It's gonna be the Kaboom before Kaboom. This is how I view it. It's the original, comic style Jordan. Yep. This is Agent 23, Michael Jordan, Fanimation. The artwork is by Jim Lee, who, if you don't know Jim Lee, he is one of, I think he still might be, but he's one of the more notable Marvel designers.
What's it called, Ed?
Fanimations. There are 5 cards in this set. The other 4 are Mutombo. We have Karl Malone, the mailman. Look at that graphic.
Karl Malone looks sick.
That. And the back is just beautiful. And there's one more, but there's a Larry Bird that I don't have on me right now. But this one is probably my favorite. This is a Jordan versus Larry Bird Fanimation. It
That's
comes
awesome.
in the set.
Holy shit.
Sick, man.
It's like them as superheroes. This is the card that completes the set of 5. Now, the beauty of this is
so sick.
They're very, very these cards they're quite readily available. They're harder to find in PSA slabs. They're harder to find full sets of them. So what I've gone and done is I've got a PSA 8 set and I've got a PSA 9 set, and now I'm working to get that PSA 10 set now that things have dropped. Now, individually, they might not sell for as much as, a Kaboom or something like that. As a set, though, the PSA 10 sold for over $3,500 USD, and the PSA 9 that I'm trying to, piece together, I will probably list that around the $1,500, $2,000 mark. But there's one of these Agent 23s in a HGA slab, which is beautiful as well.
I was literally just about to send that to the group. I just took a screenshot of it now.
It is. Let me tell you, these right here, that's my sneaky play. That set,
they're awesome.
Set, and
I'll raise that. So you think it'd be better to have the set, yeah, not just Michael Jordan, for example?
I think Michael Jordan it's like beautiful on its own. But what's
the pop on these? Just out of curiosity,
they're pretty low. Let me give you the exact amount.
That's
animations. It's something
that's so sick.
I
Something
think
different.
it's going to
Right.
play out so well. Now, there is a fire. I should save this for next week. I'm going to save this for next week. I'm going to say there's a part 2 to this, but
I think I've worked out the part 2 of it.
you might have if you're really attentive and you can have a really good think about it. There is a part 2 to this.
Which card company makes those cards?
So this
Upper
is
Deck.
Upper Deck,
Okay.
and that's also the hint for part 2. But I'll give you the pop report. So Fanimation's Michael Jordan, there is 181 PSA 10s. There is 167 PSA 9s. For the Larry Bird, there's 60 PSA 10s. There's only 18 PSA 9.
Well,
I have one of them. The
What's
Larry
the total
Bird.
on the Jordan? No, the total on the Jordan.
Total is 485 graded. So 181 PSA 10 and 167 PSA 9.
That seems really low.
This Karl Malone here, where are we? There's only 6 of these in the world.
Fuck.
There's only 9 PSA 10s. There's only 5 of these in the world. And I've got one of them that I'm trying to build that set up. And there's 127 PSA 9s. And there is 121 PSA 10s for the Larry Bird Michael Jordan combo. So
That's sick.
It's
yeah,
fucking awesome. That is actually fucking
That's-
awesome. Jesus.
that's my play. I'm
That's
telling
so cool, bro.
Holy
I'm
shit.
gonna give everyone the 2-week warning from Saturday. So on Saturday when this drops, I'm not gonna make any posts about it. Anyone that listens, that's your chance. 2 weeks to buy them up. But I'm gonna make the post about. I haven't seen anyone post about it. I'm gonna make a proper Instagram post in 2 weeks from Saturday.
Bro, I'm going to buy these in a PSA 8.
I was going to. I'm putting them all on watch.
That one there is PSA 8, and
That's-
it's beautiful.
It's readily available, man. You can get it for $60.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Just
The
the
bird-
I'm buying it.
it's
The
told
Bird
you.
Jordan one. Fuck yeah, no.
it's
What
a
did I say?
play
What did
that
I
I
say
feel.
during the week, boys? $400. It's gone in the
But-
account. Now I know what I'm.
But the beauty of this is,
So sick.
look, all jokes aside, this week has been
cool,
like
bro.
a lot of conflict, and we'll get into that next week. But a lot of conflict, like with pumps and dumps and everything like that. And then if these goes to 0, like that, having the full set of those
So
Yeah,
is
they're
pretty,
sick,
That's
bro.
so
pretty
sick.
beautiful.
So did these just? I don't know if you mentioned it. Did these come as a set? Those 4? Did they come in another product?
No.
How did they come out?
So these came in Upper Deck packs of. I remember looking this up to see if I could buy the bucket. They come in 992 Upper Deck.
Yeah.
Right. And they're the last 5 cards or something like that. Yeah, last 5 cards.
Sick, bro.
So there's 5 Fanimations and there's a couple other random insert cards as well. But those are the 5 that are the
Far
most sought
out.
after.
I think these might be one of the best Fire of Flames ever.
The HJ one is very pretty. It's the only thing is I would have bought that, but it's 8.5. And I think you're better off buying raw and submitting it yourself to HJ if you can get a spoiler line.
Bloody oath.
That's it.
I like
That's-
it, man. Well done.
that's-
I
There's
that's
like
only
it.
fine.
5 cards in
rate
the
it.
set.
Yeah,
There's
5
only
cards.
5 cards in the set.
And you can get the
In
set
that
of hold on.
Fanimation set.
set,
Be
set of
careful.
5.
There's a few on Shilstein.
There are quite a few. You have to. There are quite a few that you're gonna have to navigate. Like it's.
You can
Yeah.
get a set of 5 for $30. So it's just complete set of 6.
Yeah, I know. I
Just-
saw that one. Complete set
Yeah.
of 6 for 5 cards.
Just be cautious of
Raw.
of 2 things. Cautious of there's an Italian version and a French version.
Oh,
They're
okay.
all they're also short. They're shorter print than the English, but you want to get the English because we know how that plays out with like collectors. So be careful of those 2, and let's see how this plays out.
All right. Let's buy them. Let's go. Let's go. Rock and roll. Thanks, Ant. That
Buy
is a
now.
ripper.
Done.
That was. Did you already get one?
No, he hasn't yet. But he
He's
will.
already bought it.
Sauce is
He's
buying
quick
up
on the
everything.
trigger.
No, we've just lost complete utter attention of anything to do with this podcast now because we're just
busy buying shit.
we're just like, let's buy it. Yeah. It's like Sauce when he suggested like the thing on Sauce's Smoky, the Net Pro. Everyone was there like, oh yeah, this goes better up. Yeah, everyone was losing their shit. Yeah. All right, Lukey, you got one.
Yeah, I do. So mine is definitely not as good as this, but it's all right. The Liga Mosaic Blasters came out, I think, a week or so ago. They look to be going on eBay. I'm just looking at comps now. So a hobby box they're selling for around 370 to 350 to 370 US is the last few. Compared to your blaster, which is what? You can buy them now for some at $45.
There you go.
And then others on bids. And if you can get one at retail, it's even better. In these, you can actually get the fluorescent autos, they're called. Oh, let me double check.
Mosaic actually, I must admit, been selling quite well. The singles, boxes not so much. Singles, fairly well.
Yeah, Blaster exclusive fluorescent autos in those, which I think is pretty cool. And yeah, you can get them pretty inexpensively. If you want to rip Mosaic, Mosaic Sky might be a more affordable option.
Yeah,
and definitely something I'm going to be looking to be picking up. And if they bring out Serie A, even better. I know me and
There's a chance to hit an auto in the box, in the blaster box. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Is it one every 2 or something? The boxes, the auto.
I haven't had a look at that.
If it's one in every box, I'll buy up every single box that possibly is. The autos are the auto list really makes or breaks the product of that product.
It is good. Has got some good autos in it.
Stacked auto list.
Yeah. I'll try find that somewhere.
All right. So what was it? The fluorescent autos in the blaster boxes.
Yeah. Have you got it there already?
Hit card. Bang. I'm asking you, double checking. But
Oh, I thought you were saying how
it usually says on the box of the.
Yeah, it does. That's what I was trying to go through a few, but I can't see anything.
Let's see when it drops.
Might just be one per box.
Unless they're a myth like the BGS 10.
Nice, nice fellas.
Yeah, that's mine.
It was nice. It was nice having 3 beautiful fires, but I've got to flame someone. I just got to absolutely demolish someone this week, and I can't wait to demolish the person. As you know, if you listen to this podcast or you listen to Double Coverage, I listen to The Herd a lot. I listen to Colin Cowherd. I know a lot of people out there are like, oh, you listen to that Muppet. But I listen to him for a reason, because he is one of the only guys I can listen to where I can agree with him 50% of the time. Actually, no. Well, we'll say 25% of the time and 75% of the time. Like right now, I can disagree with him and come on this podcast and flame the shit out of him. And he's going to get tagged on this, and I'm going to DM him the clip when I cut it. But I was listening to his podcast yesterday. And, yeah, yesterday's one, because it was the Monday pod or whatever it was, 2 days ago. And he was so happy, and it was like the headline news. And Joy Taylor, she does a great job. She's gone through, and Chelsea won the Champions League, and this is fantastic, and this is good. But just remember, where is this podcast taking place, ladies and gents? In the United States of America. So Colin Cowherd found Christian Pulisic before he was Christian Pulisic. If people don't know the story, he saw this kid as an up-and-comer when he was not even playing at Dortmund yet. And he said, this kid's going to be the future of United States men's football, all this shit.
Is this serious?
Yeah, I'm being serious. I'm not joking. Because I haven't missed, as I keep saying, and I have not missed one podcast for about 5-6 years. I've listened to every single one. So,
right.
Yeah.
5 or 6 years. Jeez.
So, legitimately, the story broke. Chelsea won the Champions League. Yeah. Colin then ends and goes, oh, it's fantastic. You know, he's the first American player to ever win a Champions League. And they were crapping on. Yeah. And he goes, this is the future of American men's football. And then he turns around and says, now all we need is 3 Christian Pulisic's and we will win a World Cup. Now, Colin, shut the hell up. You ain't winning no World Cup with Christian Pulisic. He's a fringe guy that comes on at the 65th minute as an impact player, mate. He can't even play 90 minutes, let alone bloody win you a World Cup. Give me a smell, mate. Yeah, you can't even win local cups for your international team. You're going to go win the World Cup. But have you looked at like England? Have you looked at England's bloody Euro team, or Portugal's Euro team, or France's Euro team? You tell me which one of those players Christian Pulisic is better than. You tell me. Like, seriously.
I don't think he's starting in any of those 3.
Colin, I know you love this kid and he's the future of soccer for your nation, and that's good. I'm so happy for the United States that they're going to get a great player. Like, we had that. You got, who's the other guy there? They got Dest, isn't he? American? Yeah. That's good. They're getting some talent. We've seen that before. McKennie. That's good.
McKennie's going to win the Ballon d'Or next year, the way people
100%. Yeah, these guys are like, these are the creme de la creme of football. These are literally your Ronaldo, your Messi, and your Mbappe right there. Dest, McKennie, and Pulisic. Now, Pulisic is better than all of them combined. So if you had 3 more of him, he's like better than Pele and Maradona, apparently. So, seriously, Colin. I know you don't like when people say stay in your lane, this and that, but stay in your lane. Stick to talking NFL and NBA. And sometimes you can't even do that. So just stay away from football, mate. Leave that to the professionals, and that's us. Don't talk about it.
Yeah. You know what I need? You know what I need? I need just a big I'm gonna have to organize. I'm gonna get at that point when it's just gonna get a massive flame come up on the screen, and we're going to have to organise that for next week, because that was worthy of a massive flame explosion on the screen.
When I heard it, I knew it was perfect for crunch time, because now I just want to hear your thoughts quickly on that remark. I'm still in disbelief.
If America was in the Euro, they will get bounced out before they get bounced out in the group stage.
During the qualifying?
I reckon they got a decent team, but I mean, didn't they miss out on? Would they miss out on the Olympics?
World Cup last time?
No. World Cup last time. They missed out on a major tournament.
No, it was the World Cup. It was the World Cup. Oh, yeah. Was it? Don't they play in the Copa America? Did they get an invite into that?
No,
the Gold Cup they play in. The Gold Cup.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one. Sorry, not Copa America. Gold Cup.
Misses Olympics. They missed out on the qualifying for the Olympics.
As I keep saying.
The Olympics is meant to be under 23 or something like that, isn't it?
Yes.
If this is the best young team in the world, how are they not making the Olympics?
Because they're not.
If this is a few years ago.
Because they're not.
Exactly.
They're shit. Like, they're better than what they were, but they're still no good. Like that's what
bring back Landon Donovan. He will save.
I've been thinking about him the whole time. So I'm like, is he just like a glorified Landon Donovan?
I don't know why. That's. I think I'd take Donovan over Pulisic any day of the week. I've never liked Pulisic.
Now there's other people listening in the hobby too, yeah, because I've listened to other people in this hobby talk about Pulisic would have been in that position to score if it was him and not Havertz. And no, I'm being serious, Ant. I'm serious. Lukey as well. I like the sauce. I'm not joking. Stop just watching Chelsea games, all right? There's more to soccer than just watching your boy play. Stop watching just Barca games, Juve games, and Chelsea games. There's just so 3 teams in the world. Chelsea. All right? It's not. This sport is not dictated by American.
There's only Chelsea. I don't know what you're talking
Get out of it. But seriously, this sport has that many leagues, and it is not dictated. And the hobby is not dictated. Well, it is to an extent, by teams that American players are playing in. Because the bad and the direct realization that I'm going to give you all, as much as you might hate it, because you don't see me coming on here and going, Matthew Leckie, if he kicks a goal in the Bundesliga, shit, yeah, like, we're on here.
I'm gonna
The
say one time.
realization is you've got a few good players, but the rest of your players are putrid. You are no good. Get that through your head. That's why you rely on the hype beast Haaland and you put all your belief in Haaland
Damo,
to
that
be
was
the next
great. That was
best
great.
thing. Wake
was
up.
great.
We
They-
did give
they got-
Arzani a
they
good
got
pump
12
that one
months.
time. Remember that?
Yeah.
They got 12
We gave
months to
Arzani-
qualify.
Zani performed at the World Cup. Don't forget that.
Exactly.
No, I agree.
He was
He
exciting at the World
unfortunate,
Cup.
did his knee.
Arzani was actually at the World Cup.
Let's see these American. Let's see if America.
Pulisic was sitting
Yeah.
at home watching it on TV, watching Arzani.
Boys, I'm just gonna put it out there this way, and the people in the hobby that have come in that are unaware of this, the World Cup is going to be bigger, and it's going to be the biggest ever with more teams than ever involved in it at the next World Cup. They're expanding it to have more games, more teams involved, more nations involved.
More money made.
When Malta comes up against you, America, and beats you,
Oh.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it'll be
seriously.
very. It'll be terrible.
Just imagine
North
if the
Korea
Masso,
will beat
just
you.
imagine if the
Let's-
Massos beat America.
Oh my god, it'll be very, very interesting
Would
to
God.
see how America does in the World Cup.
What was that, Tom?
would it surprise you if they
No, I
did?
wouldn't. I'm just
No,
imagining.
they're actually
imagining what
good.
happens after
Macedonia's
the
not that
fans
bad,
and
mate.
everything.
Macedonia's not that bad.
And they beat
I don't
Germany. They beat Germany.
I don't think they realize that there's. If you run through a list of like the top 30 teams in world football right now, at every level, you're going to have take Egypt, for example. Egypt's best player is Salah. Salah is infinitely better than Pulisic. Like, and you just take a one-to-one comparison. Like Egypt and Salah has the ability to change a game. Pulisic does not have that ability, but you don't put Pulisic on, expect him to do a Ronaldo and take you
What did,
to a win.
what did Pulisic do to you, Ant? Far out.
No, Luke, it's not
No,
what
I'm taking this- I'm
Pulisic
taking
has done
this.
to anyone. No,
I'm
it's not
taking
what
this.
these guys have done. It's just the harsh reality.
Yeah.
It's trying to build up these people into something that they're not. And then they come out in the hobby and they go, well, you should invest in Pulisic. He's the guy to buy, because he's going to be the next Maradona. No, he's not. He's not even going to be the next... I don't even know. He probably won't even be better than Bentner. So, like...
Landon Donovan is wait. His main competitor
so-
is Landon Donovan. That is his benchmark. Is he better or worse than Landon Donovan in the long
You
run?
can't compare him
What do
to
you reckon?
Nicholas Bentner.
Oh, dude,
He's the Lord, bro.
He
He's the Lord,
retired
bro.
today. He retired
He's-
today. Leave him
He's
alone.
the Lord and Savior. The
Did Lord Bentner retire, did he?
He did.
Today.
He did.
Today.
Commiserations.
About time.
The Arsenal great.
Hang him up.
Let's
I'll just-
wrap up this episode and
Let's
dedicate it
wrap it up.
to Bentner.
To the Lord. Thanks for joining in. And the harsh realization is Pulisic is not what he is. And all the best to Lord Bentner and his future endeavours outside of football. And maybe a return to Arsenal would be fantastic for everyone in the Premier League that do not support Arsenal. It's been crunch time coming up.
Probably
We're
score
gonna
more
count.
than Aubameyang did this season.
Yeah, probably will. Arsenal's still shit. It's been Tom, Sauce, Luke, and Ant. Thanks for joining, and peace.
2 weeks. 2 weeks to buy him.
2 weeks. You told
2
you.
weeks. You got him. Funimation. 19. What is it? 92. Upper deck.
92.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of